Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Central Screen Services LLC, in collaboration with Mask & Sons Incorporated. All screen services are available. We offer a variety of colors, durability, and sizes for all your screening needs. Pool areas, patios, and more. Call 352-603-4099 today for your free estimate. Proudly serving all of Citrus, Sumter, Hernando, Lake, and Pasco counties. To find out more, check them out on Facebook. Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it. Helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. Today we have a special guest. I've known this guy for a long time now, and used to watch him play t-ball with my dad as a coach and Kenny Pravat Sr. Back in the old Pepsi days, back in Center Hill. Want to welcome Mr. Logan Brown. Logan Brown, how you doing, sir?
Great, Billy. How's it going, man? Thank you for having me. I've been around so many different people, man. And for the most part, there's way more good apples than bad apples.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
One thing that I had the opportunity to do this year was umpire Atlanta Braves fantasy camp. And so I got to spend a lot of time with the guys that I grew up loving. Sid Breams, Steve Avery, Marcus Giles, Michael Tucker, Charlie Liebrant, like you name them.
Yeah.
I got to spend the week with them.
That's
and
cool.
Mike Hampton, a local guy,
Yeah.
Crystal River. All of them were great. Raphael Furcal, I'm hanging out with these guys for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was they're all great. I'll tell you a really cool guy though is if you're talking like a great human being is Sid Bream. Super good Christian guy. Like he'll literally do anything for you, and the funniest guy in the world. Sid Bream's great.
As a Pirates fan,
Safe.
you cutting deep, man. Still cutting deep. It's been over 30 years.
Yeah.
And I watch it at games. Oh my gosh, dude. It's crazy.
Another great. So Sid's a great person. The wildest and craziest person I've ever met, Marcus Giles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a good crazy. Like he's so funny, man. And I brought my family down one day, and Marcus saw my little boy, and he called him out onto the field, and he's got my little son. He's 3, and he's out there talking to him, and my son, he's like, "How many girlfriends you got?" my little boy goes, 3.
Because that's how old I am.
And so Marcus Giles gave me the best one-liner ever. He said, "Log, he's going to get more ass than toilet seat when he gets to high school." I'm like, thanks, Marcus.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to pass the message along to him.
Yeah, let his mom know that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're all great guys. And like I said, I've only had probably one bad experience in being around people. And I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, it's got to be the right circumstance.
Yeah.
You know? See, now growing up, my mom and dad, I mean, we didn't go to spring training.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and you know, I really didn't show interest. But now that I look back on it, I'm like, you know what, that would have been really cool to do. You know, because I hear all these stories about my friends going with their parents or whatever. But I really didn't have a clue, and I didn't really understand the business. I didn't know that the Pittsburgh Pirates came to Florida every spring, or I'd have been all about it. But you know, it's different. And now that I've got Jace, he's 9, we go to the games. So let me tell you what happened this year. We went to a Pirates. Who are they playing? Oh, Blue Jays. I was like, man, we get to see Bo Bichette.
What'd y'all do? Get the split squad?
No.
Oh, is that you got the good one? Okay,
we got the real deal. So, anyways, we got to see. I don't think O'Neal Cruz played that day. It's before he got hurt, but mainly we went to see McCutchen. So that was my goal. I was like, I'm gonna get McCutchen's autograph, So Mitch Keller was pitching. Dude, this guy. You want to talk about super nice guys? Mitch Keller he's a great guy. He pitched 6 innings. He took him out. He went back to the bullpen. Warmed up, or threw a couple balls. Got done. I said, "All right, Chase, let's go down." Because you can in Bradenton, you can go above the bullpen. You got to go down these stairs. I said, "Hey, he's about to leave. Let's go down and maybe nobody really knows him that well. Let's go down and see if he can get a ball signed." He signed the ball, signed my jersey. I haven't had a Mitch Keller jersey. I was like, "Dude, it's your jersey." He's like, "What? Nobody has my jersey." I'm like, I do. Signed the jersey. So, we took some pictures with him and stuff, and then he leaves, and Jace goes, "Man, I got my ball signed." I said, "Bro, that was my baseball." I'm like, bro, that's mine, man. So he's got a baseball signed by Mitch Keller, and then Caden. I think Caden just goes to see the guys. She's 16. Ronaldo Castro. Yeah. Castro comes by and they're like, him and McCutchen are leaving at the same time, and I'm like, dude, we got to get Cutch. Well, he just kept going. McCutchen is the unicorn. He's my unicorn. I've never been able to get an autograph. So, anyways, Caden got Castro to sign a baseball. She's like, "Billy, give me one of your I had one of the straw bags full of baseballs. Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, but these are mine." Come on, here we go. So I handed her a blank baseball. She gets it signed. She's coming over. Look. That was a cool moment because they were involved and they got to process it. But on the other side of the coin, I was like, "But those are my baseballs. They're supposed to be in my case." And those are guys that people around here wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
But they're people that I know.
Yeah.
So I still kid with them. I'm like, "Yeah, when you gonna put that baseball in the case out there?" And they're like, "No, we'll put it on our shelf in their bedrooms." I'm like, "What?" So Nicole's like, Billy, I'll buy you some baseballs. And I'm like, "All right, I need $40."
Yeah.
She goes, $40? I'm like, "Yeah, they're $20 a piece." Now, do you understand why they're my baseballs? Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, I guess so." But it was a cool experience. I mean, I just wish I would have been able to do that as a kid, have more of an opportunity. I mean, the opportunity was there, I just didn't know anything about it.
That was some of my best memories. And not only would we go to spring training games, but we would go to the Florida State League games and the minors. And, dude, I've got Robinson Cano bat, a Mark Teixeira signed bat when he came through with Port Charlotte.
Gotcha.
1 year, Mike Schmidt coached the Clearwater team, so I got a Mike Schmidt autograph card and ball.
Oh yeah, that's Coach Lawrence's favorite guy right there.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many guys that I saw come through, but probably my coolest piece of memorabilia. I was like 5, and the Dodgers were in Baseball City, and I go over there and walk down to the fence. I don't even have a ball or anything. I'm like, "Hey man, can I have your autograph?" And I didn't know who it was. It's Tommy Lasorda.
Oh yeah.
And so he's like, "Hey, you got a ball or a pen?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Hold on a second." And he turned around and hollered for somebody. And so I've got a ball that has the LA, it's a National League ball, but it has LA Road on it.
Yeah.
And he personalized this baseball to me in 1994. And it says, "To Logan, a future Dodger." And Tommy Lasorda. And
oh wow, yeah.
Just I've met some cool people, and I'm as a parent now. I mean, my kids love going to minor league baseball games, and probably the best person there's a guy in the Twins organization that played at Tennessee, and his name's Jake Rucker, and man, last year we went to a game and I was heckling the hell out of him for being a Tennessee guy, and I've got all of my kids there. I'm yelling. whatever college coach's name up there is. I tell you, he said your best baseball's behind you. You're terrible. I'm just wearing them out, right? And so he just starts laughing and he cutting up with it, And he started playing peekaboo with my daughters from third base. He's putting his glove over and he's playing peekaboo, and my kids love it, right? And after the game, he called us down there and he gave my daughter his bat, took a picture with her.
Oh, wow.
Then my son got the lineup card from that game, and just all kind of, they were just giving it to, like, they love the kids. Right?
Oh yeah. They take care of them. And
man, I'll tell you, it's a cool experience, and that's a great fun thing for a family to do. That's cheap. I mean, $5-6 for a ticket. Take it, go in there and have fun, dude. It's great.
We're planning on. We're actually going to leave Monday. By the time this airs, it'll be probably a week or so after. But anyways, we're going to Pigeon Forge, and they have a minor league team up there. My brother wants to go up there and catch a game, so I think we're going to do that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's just something to do. And my brother worked for the minor league team. Was it Colorado Springs? It was the
Sky Sox.
No, they were the it was a flaming marshmallow.
Okay.
Oh, what? I can't.
I
He'll kill me, but I can't think of the name of it. But he interned there. He was going to do a lot of stuff there, and he ended up being like did a lot of groundskeeping and stuff. He said it was a pretty cool experience. They're an affiliate of the Brewers. The Vibe. That's what it's called.
The Vibe. Okay.
Yeah, the Vibe.
Who is the Sky Sox? I don't know why I was thinking it was them. Like.
Yeah, he's probably like, Billy, you know who that is. Dude, I drew a blank on that one.
He's gonna make fun of
the Vibe.
Too.
Yeah, it was hilarious because I remember it was a flaming marshmallow, like you're making a s'more.
Yeah.
It was really cool, but no, I didn't realize that there was so many. I didn't even realize, how many minor league teams are there, and then you got the Double-A, Triple-A.
Yeah.
People just think, oh, he got drafted by the Red Sox. And then he's going to go play at the Red Sox. It's not like the NFL.
Yeah, they haven't.
You got a long road still.
And that's the biggest difference as an agent. And people don't understand that concept. They're like, why football? Football, there's 250 guys that are getting drafted every year, and there's no minor leagues. You're going to find out real quick if they're going to make it.
Yep.
Baseball, you got to be committed, and it could be 5 or 6 years before those guys get that opportunity. And there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've reduced the number of rounds in the Major League Baseball draft dramatically.
Right.
But there's so many. I mean, there's guys that are in the minor leagues right now that don't have an agent.
Oh yeah. It's crazy.
It's I love the baseball side of the business, but football is a lot more straightforward.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
There's a guy on the Pirates. He was in the minor leagues for 10 years.
Oh, he played when I was interning in minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Drew Maggie or Maggie.
Yep. He just started like last month.
Yeah, he came through and he was with Charleston back then.
Okay.
And he came through, and I remember when he came through.
Yeah.
And
you talking about Charleston, West Virginia?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where Dave Parker played.
Really?
Yeah. Back in the day. Yeah.
One of my really good friends is now the owner of that team.
Oh, that's cool.
They're now the Charleston Dirty Birds. They used to be the West Virginia Power, and now they're the Charleston Dirty Birds.
So there's and you could look this up, but they always ask what's the longest home run ever hit. Well, technically, the longest home run ever hit was hit by Dave Parker. In Charleston, he hit it out of the stadium, and it landed on a railroad car.
And it kept on going.
And it went to Cincinnati.
That's great.
Literally, it was the longest home run ever hit, unofficially.
Yeah.
But they wanted to hit the ground. They never hit the ground. It hit a railroad car. Boom. And it was it was perfect timing. But yeah, funny. That's so funny.
Yep.
So a lot of baseball, you think it's has it gone up or gone down in interest, you think? I mean, COVID kind of made it a little sterile. And
be honest with you, man, I'm always going to be a baseball guy.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with Commissioner Manfred on a lot of things. I
Right.
think he's done a lot of things that have hurt the game.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that he should leave alone.
Yeah.
But I think that he's coming from a good place when he's trying to speed up the games. A lot of people's frustration that aren't baseball folks, the season's too long or the games are so long and so boring. And so he's coming from a good place with a lot of this stuff, but a lot of it is just, it's not good for the game.
Yeah.
And it takes, I think that they do well with the replay, how they have their replay system set up now. And that eliminates a lot of the like the Jim Joyce, Armando Galarraga, like perfect game that could have been avoided if replay was probably, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things, and it takes a little bit of the human element out of the way, but baseball is better when we have humans involved. And
who's the Hernandez? He's horrible.
Yeah.
Whenever he's behind the plate, you're like, we don't know what we're going to get tonight.
You know, a lot of people don't know this. He's only umpired one baseball game this year.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, there's one, and I'll tell you a lot. Like, he gets such a bad rap. Everyone.
Oh yeah, I see posts all the time with him on that.
I got a funny story about Angel Hernandez, and so I'm umpiring a high school game this year, and I'm not going to say any of the schools involved or anything, but there was some fans that were being pretty racist towards one of the other teams, and I said, told the coach, I said, hey, enough, you know, get them under control. He said, do what you got to do. And so,
toss the whole team.
I went over there. This is in the. Oh my bad.
You're good.
I went over there to the stands. Like after it continued for a little bit, and I was like, guys, enough is enough. Cheer for your team.
Right.
Don't make it personal against these other kids.
No,
they're kids.
They're kids.
And I turned around, and someone in the stand said, "Man, Angel Hernandez is sensitive tonight."
Ooh.
And I hit a U-turn so quick, and I went back there. And I said, who said it? And no one said anything.
Right.
And I said, look, if I hear anything else from this section, you're all going to leave.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Right.
I turned around and walked back. As soon as I turned back to walk to home plate, you, Blue. And I turned around, Billy, honest as the day is here, I ejected every fan that team had. And this was the third inning of this game. They played the entire baseball game with 0 fans.
Wow.
And
like it's COVID.
Yeah, like 0 fans.
Wow.
And it was because of how belligerent. Not only they were being to the kids.
Yeah.
But the Angel Hernandez comment is where they started directing it towards me.
Wow.
And there's things that parents of kids that play sporting events don't understand. But one thing you can never do is make it personal against an umpire.
Right.
And the umpire's given his time to your kid.
Right.
And the time that he's out there with your kid, he's not being compensated very good for it.
True.
And he's out there because he wants to make a difference for your kid.
True.
And I see so many videos on this, man, and online, and it's like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like, don't make it personal with the umpire. Appreciate those guys.
Right.
And like I said, it's one thing that I never thought that I would be that way.
Yeah.
But now that
there's a fine line between being just belligerent, like you know what I mean, just where you don't even, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
You know, you're just mad because you're not getting the calls and stuff, and I mean, I can understand a coach.
Yeah.
But not a spectator.
Yeah.
Come on.
You can't be personal, man.
And I know they weren't drinking.
Yeah.
They're at a high school game.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, the pregame party in the parking lot over by the basketball gymnasium.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's absurd.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is there are people like that no matter what you do, they're going to be like that. Yep. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. It really is, because then you look like the bad guy. When you decide to do something about it, you're the bad guy now.
Yep.
Never mind the guy who brought it on. Mm-hmm. You're the bad guy.
There's a guy that I umpire games with that he got sucker punched by a fan as he's walking off the field. Yeah. Fan he's facing like 7 years in prison. Yeah. And I mean, that just what parents put umpires through, man. Yeah. It's like, guys, we're here for the kids. Yeah. And we want to do our best job too. Right. And umpiring is the only profession where somebody that's never done it before can sit
it.
over there and tell you that they're better at it than you. Let me come to your job and look over your shoulder and see if you do everything
Throw
perfect.
rocks at you while you're mowing.
Yeah. Like, hey, you messed up that calculation there. Hey, no, you suck. No.
That's not how you do Excel.
Yeah. And it's your PowerPoint sucks. Like, can you imagine? Let me walk into the classroom or Kinley as he's getting the kids ready to go out on the football. That's not how you do it, coach. No.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude.
No. And nobody wants to hear that anyways. You know, it's just. But I don't know. They're those umpires. I'm telling you, some of them guys, they
take, a lot of them bring it on themselves. Don't get me wrong.
But I'll tell you this: since you're an umpire, and there's no personal intent for this, but I'm watching these professional games, and these guys are just they're above the law. Yeah. And it's making the sport where it's like, okay, come on, man.
Come on, dude.
When you look at and the guy turns around like a coach, or a player. I've seen the player draw a line. You can't do that. You're out of here.
I'm sending him to the house.
Yeah. High school, I get it.
Yeah.
Professional, come on, bro.
Yeah.
They're here to see that person. Why are you going to see them out there? You know that's the only reason why they're here. But there are certain situations. I understand you touch someone, you physically put your hand on someone. Yes, they should be ejected.
Yep.
And at the time, just like you talking about your situation, it's the heat of the moment. You're not thinking that clearly.
Yep.
But to have somebody just plead their case and they go, I don't want to hear it, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Or to make a call because they're ready to go home. That's crap.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
It's amazing. And when it happens on the professional level, it's even more frustrating because you're like, what? What are you talking about? What just happened? And there's no explanation. They just walk off. And as a human being, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
You want a reason. What happened? Why did this happen? Why are you doing this? So, give me a reason.
It's fun. I got cussed out by an umpire about a month ago. I took my kids to a minor league game, and the umpire school is called Wendelstedt Umpire School, and that's where all the professional umpires, or most of them, train and come up through. And
right.
This guy, he makes a bang call. I don't know if he's safe or out. I just wanted to heckle the crap out of him just to be that guy. And I said, they didn't teach you to guess at Wendelstedt? And he's just staring me down. So after the game's over, I'm talking to one of the guys, and the umpire walks by. I said, hey, and I'm just messing with him, I said, they didn't teach you to guess. Blah, blah, blah. He just turned off and popped off on me. I'm like, dude, I was just kidding, bro. He did not want to hear it, though.
Let me tell you something. I remember a game in Bushnell. My dad would umpire.
That deep voice.
Yeah.
Get out of here, boy.
So
Logan Brown.
So he would coach. We played a game, and then the next age group he would umpire. Guess they were short on umpires. I have no idea. Anyways, there's a guy, I'll never forget this. Bushnell Community Center. There's a guy in right field heckling my dad. Come on, Blue. Come on, Blue. Tell him, come on, man. That's a bad call. Blah, 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 blah. My dad let it ride for a little bit. And he's that kind of person where he's not like he's going to fly off the handle. But you have to push him. Keep pushing. So finally he yelled out one more, come on, Blue. And my dad says, time. Walks out to right field and he goes, you out of here.
I wish.
And I'm in the stands eating popcorn. I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, okay, that's not my dad. But he had to do what he had to do. And I get it now, but when you're like, I think I was 10 or 11, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like you can't crawl under the bleachers fast enough.
Yep. It's so funny, man.
I get it. But no, I mean, but there's a difference between, and that was in the 90s, bro.
Yeah.
I was like.
I tell you what, man, I always tell people I appreciate umpires so much more now that I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's such a shortage because of how parents are to them. And if parents don't figure it out quick, man, games are going to get canceled,
grim.
And it's bad, man.
Yep.
And the guys that I umpire with, man, are so much older. I mean, we've got to get younger.
Yeah.
And for me, I never dreamed that I would like umpiring baseball. I came back and went to dinner one night, and the guy that did all my high school games, he said, "Hey, Logan, you want to umpire?" I'm like, "Nope." And he said, "Well, good. We're having a field clinic tomorrow. Why don't you come out?" And
Did you not hear what I said?
I've been doing it ever since, man. I went to the field clinic, and
it's so funny,
it's great, man. I worked the state championships this year for high school baseball, and never in my life would I have dreamed that.
Yeah.
But it's something that it allows me to give back to the kids.
Yeah.
Put some spending money in my pocket, yeah. But I always appreciated having the good guys do my game, and I want to be my best for the kids whenever I'm calling their game, because like I said, if we don't get younger as umpires,
Right.
they're the group of umpires. They're on their way out, man.
Right.
Yeah.
We're in trouble. Did you? What's your favorite like on the field where you like to be behind the plate?
Love it.
Do you?
Yep.
Dude, I'd be so nervous, man.
Because
that's the only one you really got to pay attention to. I mean, you can hawk down first base or whatever, but it's like, I mean, it's so, you talking about bang bang plays?
Yeah.
I mean,
probably the closest one was in the state championships this year, man. It was a ball, and I kid you not, it was this far foul. It was so close that the dirt next to the chalk made the chalk come up, but it was legitimately a foul ball.
Yeah.
And the coach, he's waving his kid around third. He's waving him, and he looked back, and I called it foul. He didn't say a word. He was closer to the ball than I was. He didn't say a word. He came off as he's walking off. He said, "Logan, that ball was less than a baseball foul." And he said, "I just prayed that when I looked back, you had pointed it fair." I said, "Man, that's the closest that I've had." One thing that, and I'll get off my umpire soapbox after that, man. Having worked all the way through the regional finals, the state championships this year, one thing that I noticed about the good teams, they were the respectful teams. You have a team that is loud, running their mouth in the dugout, they probably suck.
Yeah.
They're out before the district's over with. But as you go, the farther you go along,
right,
the less chirping you hear.
Right.
People are focused on what their job is as a player.
Absolutely.
And I mean, there's teams that won't even toss the ball to the umpire.
Right.
They literally run and hand it to you.
Oh yeah.
And it's the little things like that that separate an average program from those that are playing all the way through Fort Myers for the state championships.
Right. Now, would you ever do football?
I always say that
I think football would be way more fun.
For me, football, I would get caught up watching the game, and you have to you got to focus on your specific assignment.
Right.
I want to watch the game, man.
Right.
And
I get it.
And I don't think I could do football. Yeah. I love the business of football, man. I truly do. But I'm a baseball guy through and through when it comes to knowing the ins and outs. I'm at heart a baseball guy.
Well, you did grow up, and when you were growing up, your favorite team was doing really well, and that kind of brought that love.
Yeah, the Dolphins still haven't done anything.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get Davin Cook. Did they get him?
I don't know yet.
What was the head coach? Dude,
he's the coolest head coach in football.
He looks like he plays fantasy football. Like
yeah,
he just great. Won. He wins every year. He has the trophy and everything. No, my family, big Dolphin fans as well.
Yeah.
My dad's the only Cowboy.
Poor guy.
And that was, but see, when my dad was growing up, there were no Bucks or and the Cowboys were on TV all the time.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't realize is you're like, why are they America's team? Well, because literally, like, okay, so an example, Thanksgiving, who always plays? Lions and Cowboys. Do you know why? Because nobody else wanted to play on Turkey Day. So they said, okay, y'all have dibs. And now there's people they're like, well, I think they should share that. No, you had your chance.
Yeah.
You don't get a chance after you say we're not playing on a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be one of those pioneers that say, we'll do it. And we're not giving up that spot.
Tell you, Detroit loves their Lions. So they were like 0-14 last year.
I feel so bad for Detroit fans. I really do. And I don't hate Detroit. I was hoping they'd beat Green Bay this year.
Yeah. So they hadn't won a game. And I had a linebacker. He had been active with them. It's been 2 years ago now. And so my wife and I went up and got to go down on the field and do the whole experience, you know. Yeah. She was like, let's go. All right. We go, and they win their first game. And so they're 1-14 at that point. But this place went crazy. Like you would have thought they won the Super Bowl. Yeah. I'm like, oh my, these people are crazy. But they loved
stadium now. Yeah.
Yeah. They love the Lions, man. It was,
dude, you know what's funny? I don't think I've ever told you this, but it's funny. So I gotta admit something. I can apologize as well. But your boy Danny. You know, I didn't really care for him because he's from Leesburg.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then that play where he dropped the ball.
Going into the end zone.
The very first game back. Who were they playing? There was Denver versus it was right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I forget who it was.
But he dropped the ball, and
it was like a primetime game. It was a night,
No, it was the kickoff game, the very first game. And I joked about it on Facebook because Leesburg boy, look at the Leesburg boy. And you were like, but he's a good guy. Or something like that. I'm like, oh, dude, that's not. No. I was like, I know that now, but I'm like, oh no, like I was just joking around, man, because I was like, he's from Leesburg. It would have been the same if he was from Wildwood, Hernando. Look at the Hernando kid.
Yeah. No.
And then I realized you were friends with him. I'm like,
it's funny. I actually met him through Your Highness. So we would go up on recruiting trips in high school, and it would be me and Dimps. Like I was the person going with Jeff every weekend in Florida.
Right.
And I mean, I would see all of those South Sumter guys every time I went up there. Nick Martinez would go up with Your Highness, and so we would all ride up together a lot of times. And one year we went up, it was Marty Everett, Your Highness, and Danny, and me and Jeff.
Yeah.
And Nick, I think Nick was with us then too. And that was the first time I met Danny. And I was like, man, this guy's wild. And but he's a fantastic person. Yeah. And he like I said, what's crazy, I wasn't as great a friend with him then, but then in college, when I went up to Lexington, we lived less than a mile
That
from
was
each
another
other.
mark against him. He was Kentucky Wildcat. Yeah. And I'm a Gator fan. I'm like, well, then I definitely don't like him now.
Yep.
Or I can't root for him because he's from Leesburg, and now he's a Wildcat.
So he was less than a mile from me. He's like, oh, I'm like, yeah. And like I said, I got to really grow close with him at that point. And even when he signed with the Broncos, man, I mean, the first 3-4 years of his career, I was out there staying at his house every year, once a year.
That's cool.
And probably the coolest thing that I did, this is funny. We went to, actually, I won't tell that story. I won't go into that one.
Okay,
but one of the coolest things, though, Peyton Manning's 500th touchdown pass. I was in the front row.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I'm like sitting there with Danny and his daughter and his wife. And cool. It's like really cool, man. So I've been able to see and do a lot. And
promotional consideration paid for by the following. Kona Ice. Kona Ice is a shaved ice truck that brings a one-of-a-kind tropical experience to you. Guests can flavor their own Kona Ice on our signature flavor wave, dance to our island music tunes, and enjoy a nutritious and delicious treat. Contact Jeremy and Marissa at 352-403-0515. Don't forget to follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Penosauke's newest tap room, offering 14 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beers, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and puff. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to come hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app. Is the exterior of your home or business covered in dirt, mildew, or mold? Driveway or walkway stained? Pressure King can make your siding, deck, vents, and concrete look new again with no damage. Pressure King has cleaned the exterior of houses and businesses all over Sumter County area. Usually it takes less than a day and costs less than you would expect. Call AJ at 352-457-7209. Denver is all about their sports guys, man.
It's a cool city, man.
They just showed, like, three different pitchers to win. The Broncos won, the Avalanche, and then the
Nuggets
last week or whatever. Dude, those parades are insane.
Yeah,
they're crazy.
I say that my favorite city, because I've lived everywhere, man. I've lived in Louisiana. I've lived in Lake Charles, Louisiana, Nashville, Lexington, Kentucky. I've been around, man. Yeah. I've seen it. And my favorite city is Nashville, but probably my second favorite is Denver. Denver is cool, man.
Denver. We went out there for Thanksgiving one year. We stayed at the Gaylord there in Aurora. And it was super nice. But that's where my brother lived in Colorado Springs. Mm-hmm. He was stationed there. So we knew about Denver. It was still 45 minutes away.
Yep.
So we didn't really go there a lot, but we have been did Estes Park. That's when we went out there and we saw Carson.
Yep.
Went out to Boulder, and it's beautiful.
Beautiful. Totally different
the
world.
The airport sucks though. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I almost died in that airport. I had a backpack on. I'm getting on the tram to take us to the tarmac or whatever, and the doors closed on my backpack. I can't go. I'm hanging off the side of the trail or the train there. I'm like, guys, and had to pull me into the train.
That's awesome.
Like, oh my God, I almost died on Rocky Mountain High there. But it's amazing how people when they move around in different spots and the different cultures and stuff. I love all that stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Like Nashville. Nashville it's a really cool place, but it's getting very hipster,
mainstream, hipster,
yeah,
Austin, Texas vibe.
Yeah, mainstream, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is, but I have noticed a difference, is what I'm saying. A friend of mine, she lived in this, or she had this apartment where Marcus Mariota was living.
Yep.
And dude, that place was super nice. I'm like, well, it's got to be Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Who lives here. So, cool stuff. But so what are you doing these days? I know you're coaching T-ball. You got your T-ball with your kids, and
yeah. So I tell people I got a lot of titles, man, but my favorite's dad. And
that's awesome,
dude. I got a 5-year-old daughter and 4-year-old twins, and man, I'll tell you what,
boy girl, right?
Twins are boy girl.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And they're awesome. Like if I would have known kids were this much fun, I would have started earlier. They're amazing. I love being dad, man. That's I beam when I talk about them.
Yeah.
But this year they all played on the same T-ball team, 4 and under, and dude, I might be too competitive to coach 4 and under T-ball because I'm out there and I'm trying to win every game. Yeah. Like I don't want my kids digging in the third.
Yep.
Like I'm competitive.
Oh, yeah.
And I probably turned people off from the other teams that we played against. But I was also had a level of expectation. My son pissed me off so many times, man. He, bless his heart, he don't know. So he's running.
He's trying.
Yeah, he hits it, and he ran, and he would get tagged out for getting off the base so many times. And one day we're winning like 17-6, like we're winning big, right? And he's running. He runs around third, and he steps off the base and gets tagged. I take my hat and I throw it down. The lady behind me, she says, "Way to be an example, Logan." Oh man, she's like, "What are you teaching them if you're throwing?" I said, "Oh man, like she might have a point. Like they're 4. Like
I hate when people do that to you.
Yeah, like I have expectations. If it wasn't my kid, then I would have obviously never done that.
Right.
But I'm like, son, I said, "Why did you step off?" He said, "I was scared, Daddy. He was running at me." I was like, "Stay on the base. That's the only place you're safe." But he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know. It's lack of experience.
So, I mean, I loved coaching T-ball, and I say I'll do it again.
So much fun.
It genuinely is a great time, and it'll test your patience. So.
Dude, all the kids I had are, oh my gosh, they all graduated last year, the year before. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. It's so like it was a lot of fun. Like you said, it was. I coached with Alan Shirley, and oh my gosh, dude.
So first job title is dad these days, and then got the sports agency rocking, man.
Yeah,
and it's
and that's going well.
It's fun, man.
I'm trying to keep up with you, but I'm, you're You're bouncing around like a pinball, man.
Dude, I'm all over the place. And anytime I get free time, I do enjoy umpiring. But in terms of the agent stuff, man, I've got 2 guys active in the NFL right now. One with the Steelers and then one with the Colts. And then I had 5 guys in the XFL this year. And then down to 2 baseball guys, Cinto retiring.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I'll probably expand more into baseball as I build up more. I like working for the baseball guys.
Yeah.
I love football as well. But there's a lot of movement in the football world in general with the NIL legislation and all of that. And I mean, that kind of is what it is at this point. But in my adaptation to that is going to be moving more into baseball and expanding the baseball business as well.
The guy for the Steelers, what position?
Long snapper.
Oh, okay.
So it's
tell him Kiki's up there now.
Yeah. So he's
just get there. Or
this week.
Oh, okay.
This past week.
Awesome.
So he's signed and but yeah, he's been with them before and actually had signed with the Dolphins and he's been around for a while. And
long snapper's the way to go, bro.
Dude, if you get one, they're there for a long time.
Dude, now you can touch them, but before you couldn't be touched.
Yeah, they're. Then I got an offensive tackle with the Colts.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
he'll be protecting AR.
There you go. keep him safe, man.
Dude, he's another one, man. AR, I'm telling you, dude, I'd love to meet him. Man.
Yeah,
he seems like a really cool guy. And when he was at Florida, I was like, man, this guy is something. I know he didn't play a lot, and that's what that's going to be his biggest downfall in college. He didn't play a lot. But that LSU game, when he threw that, he just throws a touchdown and just throws this dime in the end zone. It's like right before the half. I'm like, dude, this guy's something special. But
you know who I'm excited to see about and what transpires with them is Kyle Trask at Tampa. And
dude, I'm so glad you said that because
people are sleeping on that guy.
Bro,
but
I know.
I'll tell you, and I met Trask. I actually represented the center the year he came out, Brett Heggie, and I did his deal with the Giants and then the Raiders. And actually, while we're sitting here, Brett just texted and called me. But he was roommates with Trask, and so they had their pro day. And afterwards, we went back to their apartment. So I'm hanging out with Trask and his mom and Brett. We're sitting there talking and stuff, and he's a cool dude, man. Yeah. And people are sleeping on him, but I mean, he's been in that system and learning under Brady. I think he's going to be better than what people are giving him credit for right now.
Dude, I absolutely agree. And I was just telling somebody this yesterday. I'm like, dude, he's another guy that they haven't given a shot to, a fair shake. And I don't know why they had what's his name start over him last year behind Brady.
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, Gabbert.
Yeah.
Not saying Gabbert's not good. I'm just saying
give him a shot.
Let's see
what he can do.
This guy. Then why'd you draft him?
In the first round?
Right.
Yeah.
So I've always been a fan. I was like, look what he can do. Like nobody knew what he was going to do at Florida.
Yep.
And I consider him, dude, he's the best quarterback we've had in the past.
Since Tebow. Yeah, since Tebow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period.
I agree with that. I agree with you.
He was good. He was special. That whole group was special.
And he wasn't your starter. He was Franks gets hurt.
Yep. That's another cool guy, man. A lot of people don't like Felipe.
No, I like to meet him. Look, if I ever meet him, I'll tell him saying that. Just as you watch football and you're coaching kids and stuff.
Oh, he pissed me off as a quarterback in Florida.
You tend to see things that players do, and you go, God, that's not a good example. The Miami game, so at the end of the game, he just punts the ball, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I know he's excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy we won. But I didn't like when Spikes did it either.
I'm going to tell you something really interesting about Felipe to tell you the type of guy he is. So, as guys are going through the pre-draft process and they're interviewing with teams, and one of the common questions that gets asked to these guys and speaks to the importance of being a good teammate, because your teammate may get asked this one day as you're going through the process. And they asked my center, they said, if you had to go to war and have one guy from your team in your foxhole, who are you going to war with? Instantly, he said Felipe Franks.
Wow.
And I mean, if you're a leader, people are going to gravitate towards
notice.
that.
Yeah, I get it.
So shoot, he's gone on and been successful in the NFL, not even as a quarterback.
He's a baseball player too, right?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yep. And,
the Red Sox picked him up, right?
I don't know. I don't remember where he got drafted, but I mean, he was doing the tight end thing in the NFL, and
I know he went to Arkansas and played quarterback there.
Yep.
He did a couple of things. I said that I can't remember who it was. I thought it was the Red Sox, but I mean, obviously you want to see anybody on your team succeed, but the thing was, I have this thing where I can see these guys and I go, man, there's something about, like AR. I was like, there's something. I never put my stock in Emory Jones. Nothing against him personally. He wasn't our, I just didn't feel like he was our quarterback. You know what I mean?
I couldn't stand him. So my wife and I are Gator boosters. We
really
season ticket holders.
Well, the Alabama game that was all on him.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Emory pissed me off, and there's some things when you sit back and you're like, why is that guy your second guy? And look back to Tebow, whenever everyone was so high on John Brantley. I mean, it could have been Cam.
Should have been Cam.
And I mean, player evaluation is such an inexact science. I mean, there's more misses in the NFL draft than there is hits by far. I mean, no 1/3 of the NFL is made up of undrafted free agents.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's no exact science to it, but there's been some guys like I said, imagine if Florida had gone directly from Tebow to Cam. I mean, that would have changed the trajectory or the history of college football.
Also, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like you know how good Danny Werfel was.
Oh yeah.
Why did he get a chance? I mean, he like draft order. He was like New Orleans picked him up and like I don't remember what round it was. But it wasn't the first round. I know that because I remember following the draft. Then I'm like, why didn't Danny Werfel get picked up?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a Heisman Trophy winner.
Then it took Spurrier going to the Redskins at the time to bring him over there.
Oh God, he brought everybody.
Yeah,
Jacquez and a whole bunch of other guys. Shane Matthews. I was like, good Lord, you pulling all the tricks out of the bag.
Urban just did the same thing when he went to Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, Urban Meyer gets a bad rap. Love that guy to death, man. He's cool Urban Meyer story for you. So he was recruiting the center at South Lake the year after Demps was there, big baby, and Jonathan Harrison. And Harrison played in the league longer than probably anybody from around here, 8 or 9 years active. And I think this past year was his first year he didn't play. And Urban's there the night before USC and Notre Dame's playing. He's the head coach at Florida. And it's a town or a restaurant in Groveland. And it's out there close to the high school, but it was closed. They opened it up, and there was only 3 people that got to go, and it was me, Demps, and Urban Meyer. And I said, man, I learned so much from Urban that night just at dinner. He said, hey, asked Jeff, he said, what do you do when you're home? He said, hang out with this guy. He looked at me. He said, keep him out of trouble for me, okay? I said, yeah, no problem, coach. And so we got to talking, and Urban's actually a really big baseball guy.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know this, but he got drafted by the Atlanta Braves.
Huh.
Urban,
that's cool.
Urban Meyer drafted by the Atlanta Braves. And
who would have known that? That's weird.
But great person. Well, I say great person. Like people they get frustrated with them, and everyone has their faults. But he's always done well by me.
Yeah. You know another guy that I just found out recently that played baseball, and you never would have thought he played baseball.
Who's that?
Was Randy Savage.
Really? Macho Man Randy Savage.
He didn't play pro.
Really?
But he was in the minor leagues. Yeah, great. Charlie Pride, same thing. The singer.
Really?
Minor league baseball player. Yeah, these guys, these talented guys. I'm like, what?
And people don't realize, like,
never
like, I can play minor league, but you don't know how much work those guys put in to get there, dude. Like, that's the best of the best. Yeah. Like, even if they're in the minor leagues, they're still better than anyone you've seen around where you're from.
That's the thing, man. They make it look so easy. Mm-hmm. I think that's what the misconception of it when people go, well, I can do that. Really?
Yeah.
You think a player is special, or they're even more special when you realize what all they can do versus a normal person. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you see somebody backhand a ball at third and turn around and chunk it to first, and you're like, wow, that looks like he's done that a few times. Well, maybe he has, but how many times can you do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
consistency. That's and it's over such a long period of time.
Crazy stuff. Just keeping an eye on our time here. I know you got to get going.
You're good, brother.
So I was I want to ask you this since I just sent to on, and I asked him. I don't know if you got to see that part, but did you see the thing about cup ball?
Oh yeah, Webster. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Dude, I had several people tell me like, "Geez, you brought back some good memories on that, bro."
Yep. My biggest thing is the wall ball. Like we would get the little racket ball and throw it at the wall, and people don't realize how good that game was, man. Like you throw it, and if you don't get to the wall and get the heck out of there, you're getting lit up.
It's like pelted by a wasp or something.
Speaking of Webster ball and cut ball and all of that, I got to tell you a story. And this is probably why I ended up going to South Lake for baseball instead of South Sumter.
Okay.
So I was always that dude growing up. But I always played like all-star team. I was in the 9 and 10-year-old group that was the first to go to state from Webster since the 70s. But I was the only 9-year-old on the team with Travis Hutchison, I think. All the other people were older. It was Jordan Boyd, Ira Brown, Jared Fleming. Like it was the older kids that we played with. So, but every time I played ball, when it was my age group, I was one of the better guys. So my 13-year-old year is my 8th grade year, and I'm playing ball, and I get on this farmers market team for Dixie Boys, and it's Ira Brown, Jordan Boyd, Taryn Freeman. I forget who all else was on it, but I didn't get to play much, and I'm 13. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm never gonna get to play ball.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't with the idea of being a backup or not a premium player at the time. I was like, I'm gonna hit the transfer portal,
but not get my reps.
The craziest story, right? Yeah, exactly. Craziest story. So we go to play South Lake during the regular season, and we play this yellow team. And what's funny is halfway through the season, I ended up being on that yellow team. But I swear to you, and all three of them will vouch for this to this day. It was the first time I've ever seen someone hit back-to-back home runs in a game twice.
Wow.
And we beat that. I was on the farmers market team then. We beat them 37-7.
Oh my
like
gosh.
in baseball. And
wow.
And they were just different, right? And so I went to move in with my dad later on in that season, and I said, "Hey, can I play all?" What's really cool, I finished the season with South Lake, but I had the option to play All-Stars with South Lake that year or All-Stars with Sumter County that year, and I ended up doing South Lake and just stayed over there.
Right.
And so it was them days, man. The Webster days were special,
dude. I'm telling you, and it was a big to do. Like the kickoff, that was like, man.
You had to be there.
It was something you had to see, and like I was telling Coach Kinley, it's a lot has changed. My dad said they would take a day out of their week to go up there and prep those fields and stuff for All Stars.
Yeah. Really, really quick, one more for you. This is great. So, as an umpire, I think back to the first time I ever saw anyone get ejected, and for me as a player. The funniest thing. You remember Dennis Johnson?
Oh, yeah.
So Dennis used
to umpired our games.
Yeah, he used to umpire our games in Webster. And we're doing an all-star tournament. Dennis is umpiring. And we're playing like crap, dude. It's 8-year-old baseball. Wendell Gill is our coach. And Wendell's seen enough. You can hear Mark Gill out there under the tree. That's $1 million stop and a 2-cent throw. Like he just lighting them up from out there, right? Wendell's seen enough. So he lights up a cigarette in the third base coach's box. And Dennis dumped him for smoking a cigarette. And Wendell said, I swear to you, Wendell walked up to him and said, "If I would have known it was that easy, I would have left a long time ago."
Dude, and Dennis Johnson is the one who would smoke while he was umpiring.
He had
that shield, that big shield, and he's like, he had that with the ash hanging out. He's like, and you know what threw me off was I'll never forget this. When he would umpire, again, I didn't really know the game.
Yeah. So
I knew when he'd say strike, but then I'm like, is he going to say ball? So I would listen very carefully. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going deaf. Like, I thought I had a hearing loss because he would never say anything. I didn't know. If you don't say anything, it's a ball.
Yep.
But you're 7, 8 years old. You go, was that good or not? I don't know. What are we doing? Yeah. And but there was a couple of dude. Webster had some characters, man. There was another guy, Tony Gator.
Yeah.
He would He would umpire. Yeah, he's a big dude, man.
Yeah.
And of course, Mike Foote. Mike Foote was.
I saw Mike about a month ago. I got to go to dinner with. He came and watched me umpire a district championship game.
Okay.
And then we went to dinner afterwards. And
Yeah.
love Mike, man. Great guy.
Yeah, we just went to his 50th anniversary. Him and his 50th wedding anniversary. Him and Judy. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a special guy, and like I said, he's been there when I was playing t-ball.
Yeah.
And t-ball, you gotta have a personality to have t-ball umpire.
Yeah.
Him and Ken Lynch, they're just laughing. I mean, they had a front row seat to a comedy show. It was great. But we had some cats that would play, like Willie Craig. He could hit a home run. I'm like, dude, I don't even know how he hit a home run at that age, man. He just cranked it.
Dude, there's so many people that could have came out of here.
Oh, I know.
And Kendall Smith told it best to me whenever I first came into being an agent. And he said, Logan, growing up where you're from and knowing sports the way you know it, he said, this business is going to drive you crazy because you're going to see people playing on Sundays that need to be walking the streets and people walking the streets that should be in the league. Yeah. And it's so true,
and
man.
That's what, like, Carson had touched on that. He's like, dude, there's a guy that got drafted. He sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better than him.
Yep.
And it's just about timing, man.
Yep.
It's about who you know, timing. You got to be in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
But you're absolutely right. Talent. Dude, I'm going to give a shout out to Justin Simmons, bro. Golly. I know he's going to be listening to this. Bro, you're the best. I'm telling you. God-given talent, bro.
Best player of any sport that I've ever seen. And to this day, I still say he's the best offensive player to ever play football is Hal Sumter, Jared Fleming.
Oh, yeah.
And
Jared was fast.
He was special, man. He is the best athlete that I've ever seen play in person.
And I don't know what happened at the Naval Academy, but that's a big deal to get invited to the Naval Academy.
Yeah, he was special, man.
Dude, I'd love to have him on.
Get him on. Jared, this is my shout out for you, bro. You got to come on, bro.
Jared, call the show, please. Text me, message. Find me on Facebook, Instagram.
Hey, I actually umpired a baseball game with him about 2 years ago. I was trying to get him into umpiring, and we got to do a game together. So that was a cool experience.
That's a little blast from the past.
There you go.
No, I mean, it's awesome to be around this group of, like, the talented people that we're around. Dude, there's guys I haven't even had on here yet, and I can't wait to get on here. Mm-hmm. And I'm just telling you, look at who I've had so far. Yeah. And it's like, dude, this is just, it's amazing. Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to run out of people. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about doing solo shows. Nah, not doing that. Because I got time. I got people who will come. Now, scheduling purposes, I understand all that. You got things. It's called life. Yeah. We got things we're doing, but I want to sit down and pick people's brains and talk to them. I don't want to. We might have to do a couple via Zoom. I got some people all over the place, but dude, I'm just come sit down. We'll talk about it. And even if they don't like you opened up today, even if they don't do that, it's still good to hear from them, know what they're doing now, and what their take on everything was, what spin, how they left it, you know. But yeah, we'll have to get Demps on. Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Jeff,
think
this is your shout out. You're on the Goblay show next, buddy.
Jeff, you can message me or Twitter via Facebook. No, I mean, but I try to just promote people. I want to promote our kids, our youth. I want to give them a chance that we never had. Yeah. We didn't have anybody posting social media stuff.
Me and Jeff joke about that all the time. Oh, yeah? So we went on recruiting trips to Gainesville, and I would stop at Walgreens and pick up not a Polaroid, like a disposable camera, and take the pictures on a disposable camera. I'm like, dude, if we had social media, like, oh my God.
I'm telling you what, man.
And we didn't have anybody ahead of us that had paved that way. Yeah. And so if there's an opportunity to help, dude, I'll help any kid. Like my favorite thing is helping local kids. And Cinto, whenever he switched over to me,
Cinto, he's so good about that, man.
He had another agent, right? And he said, hey, I'm getting a runaround. I said, Cinto, I don't need money, bro. Like, I want to help somebody. I want to help good people. Yeah. And any time that we have that opportunity, I think it's important that we take advantage of that and help any way we can. And that's one thing that I'll leave you with is the importance of being there for that next group that's coming up. And it's not to go against anything that their high school coach is saying or to compete with them. Like, it's important to be a resource. And if you can help, it's, in my opinion, it's our obligation to be there and help guide the way, because life ain't easy. I mean, I could have folded and been the next ditch digger, but if you want to do something great, you have the opportunity, man. Right. And there's nothing wrong with digging ditches. If that's your job and it provides for your family, do it. But if you want to do something,
if it's what you love doing,
do it.
Yeah.
But if you want to see life outside of this small town that we're in, there's a whole different world, and you can go places you never dreamed of.
Well, it comes down to this, like you said, things happen. How do you adapt?
Yep.
How do you handle it?
Yep.
You know, and if I could tell anybody, it's not about where you came from, it's about where you're going and about what you're going to do with your life, and you have to do it.
Yep.
Like I tell our kids, baseball was hard because it was one of those deals where they needed just a little bit of help, and it was like, guys, we can't get out here and play for you.
Yep.
You got to do it yourselves. And then once they get that, then they can start trying to make a difference and change whatever they're trying to do. But it all starts up here, you know.
Yep.
It's in their head. But, you know, I mean, I'm so glad you came by today. I know this has been a work in progress. We've communicated several times, caught up a little bit on the phone, and I'm glad you came on. It was a pleasure having you on today.
I'm thankful, man. Like I said, I'm thankful for the opportunity and whatever I can do to help with the Goblay show, man, whether it be people or sponsorships. You just reach out to me, man. I'll help and do anything I can.
And that's the thing is, like I said, I kind of wanted to have somebody come in that wasn't in the program, never played football here or whatever, and, you know, just had their outlook on things. And, you know, and it's a lot of, you know, you can talk about a party when you're inside, but when you're outside looking in, it's a totally different story.
Yep.
So, but we'll get with you, and I hope you continue to do, you know, your success in your business, your family, sports. Go easy on the kids. They mean well. Give
your family my best, man. It's funny. So my kids are starting at Webster, and the twins are going to be in pre-K. And so my wife went in and she said, "Can they get Miss Goble?" And they said, "Well, actually, Miss Goble just retired." And so I'm like, "Oh my God, she missed them by a year." So she would have shook the shit out of my son, though, because I'm telling you, he's going to be special.
Oh, well, you know, she 30. I'm gonna give my mom a special shout out right now. She's 35 plus, 35 years. 30 plus years. She's been a great provider. She had a really, really great job at the phone company back in the day. And she didn't want my sister and I, because that was all there was at the time, she didn't want us to be in the key kids, you know, the lock and key kid. So she gave up her cush job, I guess. I don't know if there was any stress involved. I was too young at the time. But anyways, I know that she did very well. And she sacrificed that and made sure that we were able to be taken care of and stuff. So shout out to my mom, Terry Goble. I love her. And she's taught a bunch of kids that, you know, their fundamentals and getting early education. And she loved every minute of it. She's going to miss everybody. But
that's awesome.
I keep my dad straight. Well, you have to look forward to the next. You'll be right before our. I guess I can go ahead and say this, but the next episode will be the Goble show, not the Goblay show, because I'll have my brother and my dad and I on here.
That's awesome. So I'll definitely check. Please give your dad my best, man. I love him.
He always loves talking about you guys. You're, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, your family is very special, and I mean, it's awesome. I haven't seen your mom in quite a while, but she's always been awesome.
Yeah.
And she's got a great sense of humor. I think that's where you get it from. And but anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And
Appreciate you having me on, Billy.
Yeah, man. Guys, I'm going to turn this way because one of my cameras died. But anyways, join us next time on the Goblay Show. And it's about that time as we end this. And we'll see you next time. All right? Have a good one.